listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network, live every Sunday with the very latest food, beverage, and travel trends.
Fabulous.
Now here's the host of our show, Mr. Randall White.
Good Sunday, fun day morning, everyone. Great to have you here. You have arrived. It is California's place to talk about current trends in food, beverages, travel, and tourism. And as always, we keep it healthy and sustainable as much as we can as we broadcast live from our studios. And for those of you watching online at eatdrinkexplore.com, we do have a new anchor desk that we put in yesterday. We were hard at work here in the Eat, Drink, Explore studios, putting in. We now have a designated guest area where we can do some demonstrations if you're watching. And then Patty has a nice backdrop now instead of those colors that were behind her. All of us have a good backdrop. However, the sun is streaming in behind me, so that'll be a challenge during some of the hours. But all in all, the desk is just, I'm so happy to be at this new radio anchor desk. So thanks for everyone that helped with that, by the way. Our good friend Monica, Anthony Renaro, Ricardo Teodosio, all hard at work in here putting this desk together and doing the rewiring so that you can hear us. We were a little bit concerned doing it on a Saturday prior to Sunday's show because you get one thing wrong and then all of a sudden you just hear silence on the other end, and we certainly don't want that. All right, Patty Pyburn does have off today as her family is visiting from Arizona. So, Patty, if you're listening right now, we miss you in here greatly, but we hope you're having a great time. And Cora's off as well. Cora's our producer who works the phones, but we figured we could do it without her. So if there's a glitch here or there, give us a break because we have a greatly scaled down staff today. And hopefully you had some days off over the last couple of days as well. I got a chance to head up and have dinner with my family in Northern California in the Sacramento area. My brother lives in Elk Grove and my parents live in Lincoln. So we hopped in the car and drove up that way. And it was so nice. But one of the cool things that I discovered on this trip is right around, so those of you who have been on Interstate 5 before, you know where Los Banos is and Santa Nella. I saw a sign that said, it either said Monterey or Santa Cruz, I can't remember. And I thought, our station in Santa Cruz is just over the hills that direction. I wonder if you can pick up the signal here. And so I turned it to 1080 AM, KSCO. And it was coming in loud and clear in Los Banos, out on I-5 in the Central Valley. And I thought, this is fantastic. I wonder how long it will last. The signal lasted where you could clearly hear it without, when there's so much static that it's just irritating, you just want to turn it off. No, this was a nice, clear signal all the way to Elk Grove on Interstate 5. Which is just south of Sacramento there. So past Stockton, in fact, the stretch between Stockton and Sacramento, it was coming in nice and clear too. So if you're traveling on I-5 right now, listening to us on 1080 AM, drive safely, first of all, because I'm sure you have a lot of company on the roads. Today's the day everyone returns from being with family for the most part after getting out for the Thanksgiving weekend. We came back early, and there was no traffic up, no traffic down. I was shocked to find that because I've traveled a lot of Thanksgivings and have never seen it so clear on the roadways. All right, straight ahead on this hour of the program, we will hear from the woman known as Snack Girl and some of her tips and tricks for keeping kids and yourself happy and healthy when it comes to snacking. That's not always an easy thing to do. We all know it, right? Because we're all a little bit bloated from the heavy eating over the last several days with leftovers. We're cooking our turkey today, so we're stretching Thanksgiving out yet one more day. We'll talk a little bit about that as well coming up. And, when the Spanish Padres settled the string of missions in California, they left behind a wine varietal. Hard to find today. However, one woman stumbled upon a small vineyard on her property she thought was Zinfandel. Turned out to be the heritage variety itself, and is now making an incredible wine from those grapes. We'll hear from her. And then our good friend, Washington Post travel writer Andrea Sachs joins us with several ski deals here in the West. You know, I wrote her and I told her, Andrea, don't worry about it. You don't need to do the travel segment. And she wrote back, she goes, what? No, I wanted, like, begged to do it. So I said, okay, I was going to try to give you the Sunday off. But she goes, we've got some great West Coast deals. And so I really want to, I want to be on this week. So I said, fantastic. We can certainly use you. We love having her on. She's so much fun. Then next hour, we'll hear from some top dietitians on low-carb diets. Do they really work? Well, you'll want to hear what these folks have to say. And then we're joined by author John Crampner on his new book, Creamy and Crunchy. It's the history of peanut butter. I got to tell you, peanut butter is one of my staples. And so I can't wait to talk with him about the history of peanut butter, because I have a feeling I'm going to learn a lot. I don't know anything about the history other than one of our presidents was a peanut farmer. That's about all I know about the history of peanut butter. Okay, I don't have the little news sounder here, but I can tell you it is time for the news. And instead of tossing it over to our good friend, the lovely and talented Patty Pyburn, I'm going to give it to you right now. And here's a look at the stories we're following on this Sunday morning. Okay, do you have your Powerball ticket? Have you checked your Powerball ticket from yesterday? Well, you might have reason to. There were winners, just not a big winner. So now the Powerball is expected to break a record once again, this time $425 million. We're going out and getting one today, by the way, right? Yeah. Okay. We're going to join forces. Nobody won yesterday, so now it's all on the line for this coming Wednesday. The previous record jackpot was $365 million. They're expecting this 425 to actually go above that because, the frenzy gets going and then everyone starts buying tickets. So 425 is the low end of what it will probably be. So the previous jackpot won back in 2006 by a group of workers in Nebraska. The number crunching for this year's holiday spending is underway. Black Friday, apparently, a big hit. According to CBS News, store sales up 20% over last year, making it the largest retail day in history. Walmart, the nation's largest store, get a load of this. Everyone was talking about them starting early, opening early. On Thanksgiving night, actually opening Thanksgiving night. Well, apparently it paid off because get a load of this. The store says it was selling 5,000 items per second on Thanksgiving night as it opened its doors earlier than ever. No figures yet from yesterday's Small Business Saturday, or of course, we don't know yet for Cyber Monday and the Tuesday sales as well. If online sales from the previous week, however, are any indication, we should see very strong sales. And should give you a look at weather here, let you know that mid-60s for much of Northern California, mid to upper 70s for San Luis Obispo South. In fact, San Luis Obispo might be the warm spot in the state today, 79 degrees, the expected high. A mix of sun and clouds for everyone. Rain showers work into the mix on Wednesday throughout the state. From Los Angeles to Eureka, you can expect to see some rain showers. All right, stick around, everyone. Just after the break, we will speak to Snack Girl herself with some tips on, trying to stay thin over the next several weeks, especially because you're probably a pound or two heavier right now. You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. Back in a moment. Some of California's best restaurants, hotels, and homes are perched on steep hillsides with incredible views. But those buildings weren't just thrown there. They were placed on foundations designed and perfected by experts. Throughout much of the Bay Area, those hillside foundations were placed by S.S. Caveney Construction. With nearly 3 decades of experience dealing with the steepest and most difficult terrain, S.S. Caveney Construction is well known for being the go-to company when quality is your number one concern. Hillsides in California, as you know, are prone to drainage issues that can lead to erosion and slippage. S.S. Caveney Construction will solve those problems for you. Get a quote today by contacting the team you need. Head to S.S. Caveney, that's CAVENEY.com, and get your foundation placed correctly the first time. It will be a while before we see the labeling of genetically modified foods, but that doesn't mean you can't be a smart shopper and head to the store armed with knowledge. Our California Love website has a list of local companies producing food right here in California that are GMO-free and, in most cases, organic too. Head to CA, as in California, LUV, as in shorthand for love.com. It's that easy to find our list of local companies with your health in mind. You can also find this list on our Apple and Android smartphone and tablet apps, which are absolutely free in the App Store. Simply search Eat, Drink, Explore and download it to your device. Our California Love website also contains a vegetable and fruit chart so you can more easily buy local produce that's in season. Also, fresh and local recipes from the farmers market. Head there, check it out right now. CALUV.com.
Across the nation, people are stepping up for their mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, partners, sisters, and brothers. They're leading the way and walking to end Alzheimer's, the sixth leading cause of death in the nation. Together, we can reclaim the future. Walk to end Alzheimer's. Start a team. Join a team. Go to alz.org.
Seems everybody's going organic, including lawn care. Did you know communities across the country are converting their lawns, playgrounds, and playing fields to an organic care program? And it's working. You can safely control weeds and pests and have a beautiful lawn. Your kids, pets, and water supplies will be safer, and your neighbors will be green with envy. Oh, and in the long run, organic lawn care is cheaper than doing it the conventional way. Switch to organic lawn care today. Visit pesticidefreelawns.org. The folks who brought you this public service message. Check out pesticidefreelawns.org today.
Jessica.
Hi, Mrs. Johnson. Is Megan there?
Sure. Follow me. The kids are in the kitchen making sandwiches.
Hey, Julie. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Megan. Hey, Megan.
Yeah?
You're a total freak. God, you're ugly. And dumb. Oh, and your makeup makes you look like a tramp. Tommy Morris told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. The whole school knows. He said your breath smelled like garbage. And that dress is totally hideous. You look like a big fat clown. Disgusting. Oh, and by the way, nice zit.
If you wouldn't say it in person, why say it online? Delete cyberbullying. Don't write it, don't forward it. For more information, visit ncpc.org, a message from the U.S. Department of Justice, Crime Prevention Coalition of America, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
And a very good Sunday morning to you. Sunday Fun Day, as we like to call it here at Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. If you're just joining us, a big welcome to the program. Love to have you here and hope your Thanksgiving weekend was very enjoyable, as ours was. I'm your host, Randall White. Patty Pyburn has the day off, and this is our health and fitness segment. And as part of that, I want to read a news story that I didn't get time to do in the past segment. This is kind of exciting information. Simple mental activity, just small things like doing puzzles or reading, may protect your brain's health in your later years, according to a new study. And we've heard this before, but now this is really backing it up. Researchers with Rush University Medical Center and the Illinois Institute of Technology presented their findings this weekend at a meeting in Chicago. Simple things: reading the newspaper, writing letters, even visiting a library or playing chess and checkers, all can contribute to a healthier brain. The study involved 152 people with an average age of 81 and used MRI scans of the brain to determine health and how much activity goes on. So very cool there. Okay, so this morning we reach into the Eat, Drink, Explore vaults for a segment we aired back in March of this year. Lisa Kane, known to many of her online fans as Snack Girl, has a lot of tips for parents who like to give their children and themselves healthier options when it comes to snacking. And she joined us from her home in Massachusetts. Here now is our segment from March with Snack Girl. It is the snack girl herself, Lisa Kane, who's joining us right now from her home in Massachusetts. Welcome to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, Lisa.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, let's quickly describe the focus of your site and hence Twitter feed.
Snack Girl is about healthy recipes. I started on the site as about snacks because snacks are the thing that most people tend to use junk food for. They're grabbing their chips or their cookies. And I thought, this is a great opportunity to talk about healthy snacks, so I became Snack Girl. And since then, I've kind of evolved into somebody who talks about how to eat fruits and vegetables throughout the day and make it interesting and fun and delicious.
Yeah, how do you come up with new ideas?
Well, I get a lot of questions from my readers. That helps. I'm inspired by a lot of the other bloggers out there, healthy food bloggers that talk about it all the time. And I'm also inspired by just the produce in my farmer's market as well as in the grocery store. I just see what's there, and I think, how can I make this into something in 5 minutes or less, because I'm a mom, I don't have a lot of time. So I'm just always trying to grab something and see what I can do with it.
Listeners to this show can understand why I like your Twitter feed so much now, because we have a regular farmers market segment, and we're big on making things ourselves and trying to find the healthiest options out there. So on that topic, let's share some of the tips from one of your most recent posts. It is your top 10 100-calorie snacks, and it is safe to say you're not a fan of the prepackaged versions of these.
No, I'm not. I named one the worst snack of 2010.
Nabisco, right? We'll go ahead and name them.
Yeah, it was a 100-calorie pack Oreo Thin Crisps. I chose that one in particular, but just any of them, really,
right,
in that aisle are pretty bad.
So let's go down the 10, your favorite 10.
So my favorite 10, I make this no-bake peanut butter cookie. This is basically like peanut butters and oats mushed together. I like sugar snap peas with warm goat cheese. It's really simple and kind of gourmet, but it's delicious and easy to do. I did this portobello mushroom pizza with tomatoes and cheese on top. Literally, I mean, it takes like 5 minutes to make, and it really tastes like pizza, and you don't have that crust problem, all the calories in the crust.
And so you just make them into the right portion size? How do you know you're getting the right portion?
Well, it's not that hard because you're just going to cover the top of the mushroom with like a thin layer of cheese. So, portobello mushroom's about the size, I don't know, about 3 inches across.
Right.
So, as long as you keep it thin, you're going to be okay.
Yeah, and you're in the general 100-calorie range. They might be 90, they might be 110, but you know that you're getting about what you should be getting, right?
But I do think it's really important not to worry too much about 100 calories. I did that because of those 100-calorie snack packs. I wrote about this way. But, 100 to 150, even 200, as long as it's nutritious. I think that's the point of my site. That as long as it's nutritious, this is a good thing, and that's what you should be choosing.
Right. So let's continue on down the list. I didn't mean to totally sidetrack you.
No, that's okay. So I have this pancakes with oatmeal. You kind of make it overnight so that the oatmeal steeps in yogurt, and so it's soft. So you get like a lot of whole grain in that without really noticing. My kids love that one. I have this snack wrap with grated carrots and raisin with some cream cheese spread on, and then I roll up and then cut into little like sushi-like pieces, and my kids really dig that one too.
What are you using to roll it?
Oh, I'm sorry, a tortilla, just a whole wheat tortilla. And then I make a really small ice cream float. It makes you. I found this one at Trader Joe's. I was just sampling, and it was just a little root beer with some ice cream in it, and I put that in a shot glass. It's 50 calories, and I tell you, it's really satisfying. You get this cold shot of lovely creaminess. It's a great dessert and really small.
I've had that. They were sampling those out here also, and I tried that. Yeah, you're right. It is good, and it is satisfying.
Yeah, you don't seem to need more. At least I didn't. My readers did complain. They thought maybe it was a little small. That happens. So the other thing is I do this brownie ball. This is what I named it, but it's actually dates and almonds in a food processor kind of spun together with some cocoa powder, and then you just form it into a ball. And honestly, it tastes like a brownie. I know it's kind of a take on a Lara bar. I don't know if you know those. They're like nuts and dates kind of mushed together.
Right.
But then you just make your own. It costs a lot less, and it's kind of fun.
So all of these things you've been mentioning, you can pre-make, and then you can throw them in your kid's lunch bag or take them with you to work and that sort of thing.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, almost all of these, with a few exceptions, are portable.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, you don't want to, take one of those floats to work, but
no.
Right?
That would be disgusting, in about 10 minutes,
So you had a recent post I enjoyed on emotional eating. Can you go over that one with us for our listeners?
Yeah, so my husband left me for 10 days on a deserved vacation, and he literally walked out the door at 2 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, I was at my local bakery buying a pie. And why this is so funny is that I didn't realize until I got to the car what the pie was about. Like, I looked at the pie, and I'm like, why did I just buy a pie? Like, oh, my gosh. I'm really unhappy and lonely and sad that he's leaving. I'm going to miss him, and I want comfort. I want to eat this pie.
Right.
Of course, I had in my mind at the time, I'm like, well, I'm going to invite friends. I'm going to give it to my kids. Oh, this pie looks so good. I never buy a pie. So it was really funny. And so I was discussing really from that example why we reach for food in times of suffering and how there's no magic in that pie. That's what's the part that's hard. We think that the pie, it will make you feel better for a couple minutes, but overall it's not going to solve the problem that he's gone for 10 days and I'm sad. I sort of make that pie magical in my mind, and that was kind of the point. We've got to look at it. When we feel these emotions and we eat, what kind of things are we making our food become?
Right. Mine is boredom. When I find myself bored, or I work with a lot of different media, whether it's video or audio, and on the computer it has to do either uploading, downloading, rendering. It just has this stuff to do, and sometimes it can take anywhere from a couple of minutes to a half an hour or more. And so for me, that's like an open window. I'm like, well, I'm kind of working because the computer's doing something I need it to be doing, and I can't really use the computer in the meantime. So then I find myself turning to the little refrigerator we have here in our office, and it's a different kind of emotion. It's just boredom.
Yeah.
That's why I liked the piece when I read it, because I was like, I do that. I know I do that.
Exactly. Yeah, I've got to fill my time with something. My suggestion for you, and you're going to laugh, is to get like crime scene tape and just wrap the fridge in it.
That's Snack Girl. Wrap it in crime scene tape. We're back in just a moment. Some of California's best restaurants, hotels, and homes are perched on steep hillsides with incredible views. But those buildings weren't just thrown there. They were placed on foundations designed and perfected by experts. Throughout much of the Bay Area, those hillside foundations were placed by S.S. Caveney Construction. With nearly 3 decades of experience dealing with the steepest and most difficult terrain, S.S. Caveney Construction is well known for being the go-to company when quality is your number one concern. Hillsides in California, as you know, are prone to drainage issues that can lead to erosion and slippage. S.S. Caveney Construction will solve those problems for you. Get a quote today by contacting the team you need. Head to S.S. Caveney, that's CAVENEY.com, and get your foundation placed correctly the first time.
Hello, this is Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and I want to tell you about my new favorite discovery, Yosemite National Park. I recently went there with my husband and children, and we walked the trails to see the breathtaking waterfalls, admired the grand meadows, and giant sequoias. But the future of our national parks is uncertain. Many challenges face our parks today, from polluted air and water to development threats outside their borders and inadequate funding to protect our national heritage. That's why the National Parks Conservation Association recently completed a decade-long assessment of the challenges facing our national parks, along with proposed actions that will ensure our children and grandchildren will be able to enjoy the parks as we have. Our national parks have inspired Americans for nearly 100 years. As we approach the centennial of the National Park Service in 2016, please join us in helping to protect our national park legacy. Find out how at www.mpca.org.
What if it wasn't always about getting ahead? What if you didn't care about being on the fast track? What if your career goals were to change? Instead of flying off to the big interview, what if you flew somewhere else altogether? To embark on a different track, to volunteer in ways you never dreamed of, in places you never imagined yourself being. Like a tiny island in the Pacific, barely visible on a map, but where needs are easy to see. Or a village on the African continent, where just a little training in HIV awareness can change the fate of thousands. What if you decided to share your skills with others and help someone else get ahead? Peace Corps. Life is calling. How far will you go? To find out more, call 800-424-8580 or visit peacecorps.gov.
For the latest video and information from today's show, head on over to eatdrinkexplore.com. We're constantly updating it with the latest food, beverage, and travel trends. Also, we're launching a new section of the site called California Love. This is where we recommend great companies, and the best part is every single business we feature is locally owned. We've checked them out and are confident you'll love them as much as we do. This is a great tool to have as we head into the holiday shopping season. Since you're already spending money, you might as well support your neighbor. We choose businesses that give back to the community, care about the environment, or use only the freshest local and organic ingredients. They also make their products here, not overseas. Our California Love business recommendation tool is still in the development stages, but will be available very soon at eatdrinkexplore.com. Eat Drink Explore Media, your lifestyle information source. Sunday morning, the Sunday following Thanksgiving. We hope your weekend has been very productive and you didn't spend yourself silly yesterday, or I'm sorry, on Friday. Oh, I guess and yesterday too, on Small Business Saturday. That's the day we really support here at Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. It is October the 25th. Time right now is 8:33. And you know, California's mission system was founded in the late 17 and early 1800s along the coast of California from San Diego to just north of San Francisco. And as Father Junipero Serra, or I'm going to try to roll my R's here, Serra, okay, or just Father Junipero Serra, and his team established the locations. They also planted grapes to make wine. And those original lines of grapes brought over from Spain are mostly gone, as tastes for, Cabernet, Rhone varietals, Pinot, and Chardonnay, among others, have overtaken the industry. Well, here now is our segment from August on one California winery still using those original mission grapes to make some delicious wine. One, Santa Barbara County Vintner is using the original mission grapes, as they're called, to make some very highly rated wine. Deborah Hall with Gypsy Canyon Winery joins us in studio now to give us a couple of lessons on history and winemaking. Welcome, Deborah.
Good morning, Randall. Happy to be here today.
Yeah, so glad that you could make the trip. We appreciate you coming in studio for
My
sure.
pleasure. I had to bring in the wine. You've got to know what you're talking about.
Because we can't do that over the phone, right?
Yeah, no. Exactly.
Now, I am really excited about this because when I started reading some of the history behind it, the mission grapes had somewhat been all but lost for the most part, and then they started popping up, and you found some vines on your property.
Right, quite by accident. We were cleaning up to plant some Pinot, a hot new varietal, and we discovered a vine and another realized we had a whole hillside. It turned out to be 3 acres. They were first identified as Zinfandel. So I was selling the grapes for a couple of years as Old Vine Zen, and then we did some DNA testing and found out they were mission grapes. Honestly, I was really disappointed because I thought I had Old Vine Zen, which is really, really cool to have.
Right. Right.
And I thought, Mission, oh my gosh, what do you do with old Mission grapes? So I thought, well, the Padres had the most experience with this varietal.
Yeah.
So going down to the Santa Barbara Mission, the archives library there, they have fabulous resource. All the correspondence between the fathers, the books, everything's gathered right down in Santa Barbara. So going through all their winemaking notes, they would write back and forth to each other talking about their methods and what they liked and didn't like.
Did you have to stomp the grapes with your feet?
Yeah, well, no. They did, absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the coolest restored bodegas is up at the San Antonio Mission, if you ever get a chance to check it out. They used gravity feed back then where they stomped the grapes, and there's a little hole in the vat that goes down to the cellar, and they would just put the barrel right under the hole in the cellar, and it would just go right into the barrel. It's very cool.
Really? And open to all the air and all the microorganisms that would be floating around as well. So you can't be super exact about what yeast you might get in your wine, correct?
They used whatever they had. Yeah. It was all native yeast.
And so how now that you're using the Mission grapes, do you use a specific yeast or do you do it the same way?
No, it's more controlled. I have only the 3 acres, so I'll get about 1 barrel a year, maybe almost a ton if I'm lucky. So I can't take a chance with native yeast that might throw it off. I need to control it a little more.
What a waste that would be, right?
But, But other than that, I do it pretty much by their recipe. We harvest and it's a thick red skin grape. Big loose clusters can weigh up to a pound each. It's really gorgeous when you see them on the old vines. So we just bring it straight into the winery, take the juice off the skins right away, press it, and then start fermentation. And about halfway through, they made a lot of brandy back then, so they would fortify. It's a fortified dessert wine.
I see.
So they would fortify it with their brandy. So I have to fortify it with high-proof grape spirits, which just does the same thing. So that kills the yeast, stops the fermentation, and then you have your residual sugar of about 9% and alcohol at about 18%. And then I'll age it for 4 years in neutral French oak. They didn't have new oak back then.
Right.
And the barrels, there's some headspace. So I age it for 4 years, sur lees, on the lees, and never top it. So the headspace is part of the oxidation process that actually improves the wine.
Now, what's the difference between a high-proof grape spirit and brandy?
It's just wine made from grapes that's been distilled.
Okay,
so
but not aged in barrels and that sort of thing, so that's why it doesn't have the brandy characteristics.
I actually did some cuttings from the Mission, tried to make my own brandy, but what happens by the time you double distill a 60-gallon barrel of wine,
there's not a lot left.
You get 6 gallons. That would take a lot of acreage.
Those bottles would be extremely expensive.
Yes.
So Deborah, I'm wondering, I assume that the grape has characteristics of Zinfandel because you thought it was an old fine Zinfandel. Would that be the varietal you would most closely describe the Mission grapes as being?
No, actually, through DNA testing, they've actually linked them to a couple of grapes out of Spain, a Liston Pietro and a Criolla grape, and even a Pais grape. And also may think that it may have been hybrid with the native grape. California native grape. So
now, for people that are watching this broadcast online or via the smartphone apps, we do have some pictures from your website from the 2009 harvest. Are those the Mission grapes that are in that picture, or
that was the Pinot?
That's the Pinot, that are there.
Harvesting,
but it looks like a beautiful property. You're located in the Santa Rita Hills?
Exactly, yes, just off of Highway 246 in the northwestern region of Santa Rita Hills. And that is actually, they grew the Mission grape at every mission. So if you have a wine that was grown in San Gabriel, it's a lot warmer, and you're going to have a completely different grape that's grown in Santa Rita Hills.
Right.
And so the advantage is it's hard to ripen. However, it hangs on to a beautiful natural acidity, all of it. Here, I just poured you a little sip if you want to try this.
I do, thank you.
And a little bit of 5-year vintage Gouda is really a wonderful pairing. So take a bit of
hey, I like this. Where did you get the Gouda?
This is from the Beverly Hills Cheese Store. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, now I'm feeling like extra special this morning. I love it. Good thing I had breakfast. So I'm wondering... the Santa Rita Hills, they are considered to be one of the prime Central Coast growing. People source their grapes from there for for specific characteristics, and what would you say would be the overriding characteristics of grapes from the Santa Rita Hills?
Well, it's known for its beautiful Pinot, and because geographically how it's set up, it allows a long, cool growing season, which allows the Pinot to develop its wonderful flavors that it come, and the soils, of course. It's all about terroir.
I've got to tell you, I don't know if it's the combination with the cheese or what, but I'm tasting a lot of caramel, depending on where you're from, how you want to pronounce that. But it tastes like candy. I mean, like candy, but not overly sweet. It is fantastic.
Thank you. The 9% residual sugar and the 18 alcohol seems to be a nice balance. Not sweet enough to really go with dessert, but it's a sipping wine, and having this with a little cheese after dinner, you're set.
I need to focus on this cheese a little bit too.
Okay.
This is fantastic. What's the brand name?
It's a 5-year vintage Gouda. And if you ever need to do any pairing, you see Tony at the Beverly Hills Cheese Shop. He's got a fabulous palette for pairing the cheese and wine.
I'm going to have to put a link to that on our program summary because when a cheese blows me out of the water like that, I want to share it with our listeners.
Yeah, it has a wonderful textural surprise, and then the saltiness with the sweetness of the wine is great.
You didn't get a chance to have some with your tasting.
I've had quite a bit.
Okay. So where can people find this?
Directly through my website. I currently have a wait list, but I'll have a new release this fall.
Okay. And
then just sign up for the wait list through the website.
And your website is gypsycanyon.com, correct?
That's it.
That's so easy. And,
yes.
And of course, we have a link to that as well. Just head to, if you're listening and you're thinking, I want to access all these things, eatdrinkexplore.com. You just go to the radio tab, and when you hover over that, drop down menus there, and it says right there, program summaries, guest information. Just click on that, and you'll see today's listing and all of the guests you heard today. You'll find links there, including Deborah Hall with Gypsy Canyon Winery and her fabulous Mission Grape varietal. What is the name? Do you call it? It's not called Mission Grape.
It's actually called Ancient Vine Angelica, and it was coined Angelica by the San Gabriel Mission, who named the city of Los Angeles the City of Angels.
Yeah. I like that connection.
They made quite a bit of it at the San Gabriel Mission.
Are you from Southern California originally?
Yes. Moved up here to kind of retire, ended up in a whole new business and busier than ever.
That's how it happens, right? Yeah. But would you say that the whole thing is true? Find something you love to do and you'll never work a day in your life. So
absolutely. It's a wonderful lifestyle. I could never imagine going back. Yeah. You'd never retire.
And it's such a short trip down to see all your friends and family and stuff that you may have left down in the LA area.
Yeah, it's nicer to bring them up here.
Right. But you do have to, unless the Beverly Hills Cheese Market ships, I guess you do step.
They do.
Oh, they do. Yeah. So there you go. That's easy.
Overnight.
Easy as it is. Okay, Deborah Hall with Gypsy Canyon Winery. That's gypsycanyon.com. Thank you for bringing the sample taste.
My
Love
pleasure.
it so much. Look for their Angelica on the website. You can order it that way. There's a waiting list, though, and after tasting it, I understand why. All right, up next, Deborah. All right, so there you have it. Deborah Hall, we loved having her in studio, and she did leave that bottle with us, which, Ricardo, can you reach back and grab the bottle behind you there? It is now, sadly, I need to move this out of the way. Sorry. For those of you watching online, I'm showing the bottle, and it's now sadly empty. But it was really enjoyable having it. Let me tell you, that is some excellent wine she makes, and we were happy to feature her here again on Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. And I apologize. Apparently, I said October 25th leading into that segment. It is clearly November 25th. That's a mistake I make all the time. What did I say? I said Christmas last week instead of Thanksgiving. So pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Okay, 8:44 the time, and that I did get right. 8:44 the time. Right after this, it is a live segment with our wonderful Andrea Sachs, travel writer for the Washington Post. She's got some great ski deals. It's that season again, right? And a lot of them here on the West Coast. You're listening to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, live from downtown San Luis Obispo. Back in a moment. Some of California's best restaurants, hotels, and homes are perched on steep hillsides with incredible views. But those buildings weren't just thrown there. They were placed on foundations designed and perfected by experts. Throughout much of the Bay Area, those hillside foundations were placed by S.S. Caveney Construction. With nearly 3 decades of experience dealing with the steepest and most difficult terrain, S.S. Caveney Construction is well known for being the go-to company when quality is your number one concern. Hillsides in California, as you know, are prone to drainage issues that can lead to erosion and slippage. S.S. Caveney Construction will solve those problems for you. Get a quote today by contacting the team you need. Head to S.S. Caveney, that's CAVENEY.com, and get your foundation placed correctly the first time. It will be a while before we see the labeling of genetically modified foods, but that doesn't mean you can't be a smart shopper and head to the store armed with knowledge. Our California Love website has a list of local companies producing food right here in California that are GMO-free and, in most cases, organic too. Head to CA, as in California, LUV, as in shorthand for love.com. It's that easy to find our list of local companies with your health in mind. You can also find this list on our Apple and Android smartphone and tablet apps, which are absolutely free in the App Store. Simply search Eat, Drink, Explore and download it to your device. Our California Love website also contains a vegetable and fruit chart so you can more easily buy local produce that's in season. Also, fresh and local recipes from the farmers market. Head there, check it out right now. CALUV.com.
Seems everybody's going organic, including lawn care. Did you know communities across the country are converting their lawns, playgrounds, and playing fields to an organic care program? And it's working. You can safely control weeds and pests and have a beautiful lawn. Your kids, pets, and water supplies will be safer, and your neighbors will be green with envy. Oh, and in the long run, organic lawn care is cheaper than doing it the conventional way. Switch to organic lawn care today. Visit PesticideFreeLawns.org. The folks who brought you this public service message. Check out PesticideFreeLawns.org today.
Across the nation, people are stepping up for their mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, partners, sisters, and brothers. They're leading the way and walking to end Alzheimer's, the 6th leading cause of death in the nation. Together, we can reclaim the future. Walk to end Alzheimer's. Start a team. Join a team. Go to ALZ.org.
For the latest video and information from today's show, head on over to eatdrinkexplore.com. We're constantly updating it with the latest food, beverage, and travel trends. Also, we're launching a new section of the site called California Love. This is where we recommend great companies, and the best part is every single business we feature is locally owned. We've checked them out and are confident you'll love them as much as we do. This is a great tool to have as we head into the holiday shopping season. Since you're already spending money, you might as well support your neighbor. We choose businesses that give back to the community, care about the environment, or use only the freshest local and organic ingredients. They also make their products here, not overseas. Our California Love business recommendation tool is still in the development stages, but will be available very soon at eatdrinkexplore.com. Eat, Drink, Explore Media, your lifestyle information source.
You've waited all week, and it's finally here. The Eat, Drink, Explore Weekly Travel Deals Extravaganza.
Yes, indeed, and a good day, everyone. I'm your host, Randall White, and it is time to hear insight from the best of the best, the gurus of bargains, the luminaries of budget travel. And this week, we welcome back to the program one of our favorites, Washington Post travel writer, Andrea Sachs. And Andrea, you know, I did try to give you the day off today because it was
I know, I won't take it. Not when we had ski deals and we feel a little pudgy and we need to ski and get out there and be active and work off those 8 turkeys. Is that how many you had?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Today will be our 3rd turkey.
Oh, 3rd. All
yeah,
right.
so not 8. Although
you count leftovers too. I'm sure you could build another turkey with your leftovers.
I think you're right on the whole pound issue, though. I don't know. I just had more pie than I ever have. I just love it. It comes from a local place here in San Luis Obispo called the Apple Farm, and they make an apple cranberry pie that's a family favorite. So, of course, I was in charge of buying those pies, and then some of them came back home with me, and I've been having them at breakfast. Oh, Andrea. Okay, so I'm so happy that you're here, by the way, live.
Oh, I love being here.
Much better than a recorded segment, that's for sure. So you have a lot of stuff, like you said, ski deals in particular. It's that time of year, right?
Yeah, so every year we have a special ski issue, so it's all catering towards ski stories and ski travel, and a lot we're out west, which is why I really wanted to talk to you in the audience today, because they make sense if you're coming from California.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And all of these can be found, by the way, at the Washington Post. Just go to Washington Post, then click on lifestyle, I think it is, and then travel, and it'll bring you right there.
Make you work for it.
Right.
Calories.
The more clicks, the better. So
exactly.
Let's start in Breckenridge, one of my favorite ski cities.
Oh, yeah, same here. I used to live there.
Did you really? Summit County, that's right.
I did.
Yeah.
I did right out of college, bought a Volkswagen, drove out there, and skied until I blew my knee out. I was like, okay, my career's over.
What's the elevation there at town level? Not even up on the slopes. I think you're up in like the 8,000 range or something.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, I know a lot of people huff and puff.
Yes, you do have to acclimate.
You do, yeah. So you only have one beer and don't go crazy the first day.
No.
But this is good. Let's go for the deals. This is really good because for the first one that we had, it's if you stay and ski for 2, 3, or 5 days, the next day you get a ticket for $1.
Ooh, that's nice.
I know. So you can sleep late and quit early for après-ski cocktails and not feel guilty.
Right. Oh, I love the après-ski, yes.
Yeah, but $1 is so good. I mean, typically the tickets are $87, and so they're offering $1. You just have to stay at one of their properties, but they're beautiful properties. And, you know, you can stay in a condo or something slope side. They have a wide variety.
So, and you can get that deal on as few as 2 days, right?
You can, yes. You can do the 2 days, so you pay for two tickets, stay for 2 nights, and then that third day of skiing will be $1.
Nice. That's good savings.
It is.
And then
you can buy another turkey.
Right. We'll keep it in the West here. Utah, some of the best skiing in the country.
Yeah, and they had this great deal, and I think they've had it for a couple of years because it works so well. And if you fly in that day and you show your boarding pass to the ticket agency at 3 different resorts, you can get a free ticket for that day of skiing.
Oh.
So if you get an early flight and you get into Salt Lake and then drive up to, say, Deer Valley or Canyons Resort or Park City Mountain Resort,
right?
I mean, you can get a full day of skiing.
Wow.
For free.
They're rewarding people that are flying in specifically. This is the boarding pass is one way to weed out the locals from getting this deal.
Exactly. Yeah, they got to pay. They usually have season passes anyway, or they have a friend that lets them on the list.
Although, if you live there and you flew away, you know, for Thanksgiving or something, and then you're coming back, they don't know, you know, where you're. Where you live.
It's so nice of you to care about Utah residents. That's
right.
Very true.
I'm a very giving person, so
you are. 'Tis the season.
Right. Now, the East Coast has some skiing as well, and the Killington Ski Resort is one of the big ones.
It is, and it can be really pricey. So they have a great deal if you can go off-peak days. So if you arrive Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, and you stay at one of their properties, then you get a free night's lodging and a free lift ticket.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, that's kind of better than Breckenridge.
Right. How far is
both are good.
How far is Killington from D.C.? Is that you could drive it, but it'd be far, huh?
If I started it, I don't know, it's probably 12, 14 hours.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's got to be more.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, I could fly.
I was thinking.
Yeah, the skiing in my area is terrible. You have to go way north.
Right. One area where you would absolutely have to fly is if you were going to take advantage of the slopes down in Chile.
Yes, I'd love this deal.
What now? Wait a minute. Isn't it their summer?
It is. So this is if you want to extend the ski season. So if when April our season's over and you're just aching to ski some more,
right.
Go to Chile because then their ski season is starting in our summer because it's their winter. And there's a great deal. So they have this all-inclusive week-long package to ski Portillo. that how you pronounce it?
Let's see here. Yeah, Portillo, exactly.
LLO. It's 2 hours from Santiago, and they are offering visitors 2012 prices for their 2013 ski trips.
Oh.
So you will get all-inclusive. Air is not included, but they'll pick you up at the Santiago airport, give you lodging, ski tickets, yoga classes, whatever you want, food. And for the hostel-style Inca Lodge, that price starts at $800 for a whole week.
Wow, that's a good deal.
Isn't it? I know. Even if you don't ski, just go.
Right.
Just sit on the slope and look pretty. I mean, I'm fine with being a bunny for that amount.
And it would be so bizarre to do it. You know, this is for travel between the end of June and early October. So that would be really like in the middle of August to be snow skiing. It would just be fun just for the randomness of it.
Exactly. It's kind of confusing your body. Your body's like, okay, I'm ready to put a bathing suit on. And you're like, no, you're going to put your ski parka on again. Yeah, I love it. I think that's so great to experience South American skiing.
Yes, and there's some good wine tasting in Chile, too, so you could make it a
is.
combo trip of some sort. Okay, let's move from the slopes and out to sea, apparently.
Yeah, this is the one that doesn't mix. We had to throw a cruise in. It has nothing to do with skiing, but it is Italy. And this one is Costa, and they're offering 2 free post-cruise nights in Rome.
Oh,
so
that's
after
nice.
The cruise, you get a couple days on land, and they're just going to pay for your hotel stay, which is very nice.
Because one of the things that I don't like about cruising, and I am a fan of it, but one portion that I don't like is the stops are too short, you know, and you don't really get to experience a city. So if I'm going to go as far as Europe, I want there to be some land included, you know. So I love this idea. Right.
Yeah. It's also nice, too, because after a cruise, you're not ready to go home. Like, you need a couple of days to unwind. It's nice that you can kind of get back on land and not have to rush back and extend that vacation for a couple of days and not have to pay for it, which we always like.
Washington Post travel writer Andrea Sachs. We love having you on the show, Andrea. Thank you for taking some time out of your holiday weekend.
And we'll talk on another holiday weekend.
That's right.
December.
Excellent. We'll talk to you at the end of December. Enjoy this period, Andrea.
Okay, enjoy your turkeys.
Thank you. And stick around, everyone, because next hour, we're talking the history of peanut butter. Also, low-carb diets. Do they work? We'll talk to a couple of dietitians who are in the know. You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. I'm your host, Randall White, live on this Sunday morning. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break, and we'll be back on the air shortly. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break. We will be back shortly. Get the latest audio, video, and breaking news from Eat, Drink, Explore Media by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're easy to find. The URL extension for all of those sites is simply Eat, Drink, Explore. Thank you for your patience. The Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is currently in a local commercial break, and we'll be back on the air shortly.
You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. Now here's the host of our show, Mr. Randall White.
We're finally getting in the groove here on this Sunday morning. It took an hour to get the Pistons going, but, you know, it's Sunday of a 4-day holiday weekend, and Ricardo and I drove all the way up to Sacramento for Thanksgiving at my brother's house, and stayed with my parents. That was a lot of fun, and then raced on back and put together this show for you here today on Crush 92.5 FM. Hope you've been enjoying your holiday weekend and got a chance to explore some of the downtowns near you, you know, maybe Paso Robles or Atascadero, San Luis Obispo, and did some small business Saturday shopping yesterday, is our hope, because you know, Black Friday was huge for retailers, and I hope that Saturday was equally as big for what has become known as Small Business Saturday. So great to have you with us. I am Randall White, 9:01 the time. This hour of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio is brought to you by Eberly Winery in Paso Robles, open daily from 10 in the morning until 6 o'clock in the afternoon with complimentary, that reads free, wine tasting and cave tours. Voted by Wine Spectator as one of the best tours on the Central Coast, Eberly Winery is located on 46 East in Paso Robles. You can log on to eberlywinery.com for more information. And while you have that in mind, it's this time of year, it's not just about the wine tasting. Hey, this is a good excuse to go gift buying, right? So you can combine wine tasting with getting some of your Christmas shopping out of the way, because who wouldn't like to receive a nice bottle of California-made wine? So think about that. All right, we have a great show ahead, and I should mention, because typically here I would be talking with the lovely, talented Patty Pyburn. Her family just left to go home to Arizona, and so she's cleaning up there at home, and we gave Patty the Sunday off. So, Patty, if you're listening, we miss you here in studio, as always. It's so great to have a co-host to throw things off of. Hey, you might remember last week, Patty shared some of her recipes with us. I shared a recipe or two, and then a local Central Coast resident by the name of Joe Seals shared a number of recipes. In fact, we had his dressing, his sausage and mushroom dressing at my brother's house for Thanksgiving. It was bomb. It was so good. Bomb in a good way. Not like it was a bomb. It was fantastic. So delicious. And I want to let you know, all of those recipes you heard and more are now available. I built a portion of the website just for new recipes. And Joe has shared even more recipes with us, healthy appetizers that you can make for your holiday parties. I'll be adding those to the website tomorrow, but there's still plenty of recipes there for you to find. Just go to eatdrinkexplore.com and click on the recipes tab. Lots of great stuff there for you to delve into and enjoy in the coming weeks as you entertain people at a holiday party, or, you know, if it's a potluck and you have to bring a dish, there's plenty of great stuff there, including Patty's mashed potato recipe, which is fantastic. And what else did she share? Her Brussels sprouts. Her Brussels sprout recipe is fantastic. So lots of good stuff there. All right, stick around, everyone, because coming up in the next hour, we will be talking low-carb diets. Do they really work? Well, we'll talk to a couple of dietitians, one here from San Luis Obispo and one nationally known, to talk about low-carb diets. And then the final half hour of the show, we're talking peanut butter. A new book is out. It's a fantastic read, and we'll talk to the author coming up. You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. I'm your host, Randall White, and we're back in just a moment. It will be a while before we see the labeling of genetically modified foods, but that doesn't mean you can't be a smart shopper and head to the store armed with knowledge. Our California Love website has a list of local companies producing food right here in California that are GMO-free and, in most cases, organic too. Head to CA, as in California, LUV, as in shorthand for love.com. It's that easy to find our list of local companies with your health in mind. You can also find this list on our Apple and Android smartphone and tablet apps, which are absolutely free in the App Store. Simply search Eat, Drink, Explore and download it to your device. Our California Love website also contains a vegetable and fruit chart so you can more easily buy local produce that's in season. Also, fresh and local recipes from the farmers market. Head there, check it out right now. CALUV.com.
You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network, live every Sunday with the very latest food, beverage, and travel trends.
Fabulous.
Now here's the host of our show, Mr. Randall White.
Good Sunday, fun day morning, everyone. Glad you could join us here for the show today. I'm your host, Randall White, and we are coming to you live from California's Central Coast. But no matter where you're listening to us, we're glad you are. Each week, we bring you current information on food, beverage, and travel trends so you can get the most out of your life. And, a highly publicized study at the beginning of summer, funded by the NIH and published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, says dieters who were trying to maintain a weight loss program burned more calories eating a low-carb diet, do you remember this, than they did eating a low-fat diet or a Mediterranean-style one. Well, the study was small, just 21 people involved, and there was some other controversial aspects to it. So we invited a couple of dietitians on the show at the end of June to talk about it and thought we would revisit that today. So here now is our segment from June with two top dietitians who were skeptical of the new study. Joining us now to discuss these findings is Dr. Susan Swadner with the Food Science and Nutrition Department at Cal Poly, of which I'm an alum, in studio this morning. Great to have you with us, Doctor. And also on the line is Dr. George Bray with the Pennington Biomedical Research Center and author of the response to the low-carb study in the Journal of the American Medical Association. Welcome to the program, Dr. Bray.
Good morning, and thank you. Glad to be here.
Oh, fantastic. I think you're up in the Bay Area right now, aren't you?
That's correct. I'm over in the East Bay.
Well, welcome to California, and welcome both of you to the program. Now, Dr. Bray, I'll start with you. Can you sum up for us that journal response that you wrote?
Yes. You have two issues when you have a small study. One is duration. And the important thing for most individuals who are interested in diets isn't what happens in the first 2, 3, or 4 weeks, but what happens at 2, 3, 4, 6 or more months. And although there are small differences between these three groups in a beautifully designed studies, and I take my hat off to Dr. Ludwig and Dr. Ebeling. They did a very nice job with the design and execution, but they had by nature a short study, and projecting that out for the long period, we don't really find much difference between one diet or another. It's whether you stick to the diet. And adherence is really the major issue in getting the best out of your diet, not what the composition of that diet is.
So many people, Dr. Bray, when they get started on a diet, myself included, want to see rapid results in the beginning just to get them going. So in that aspect of it, it sounds like according to the study, the low carbohydrate version of the diet does give you that like initial sort of boom to your diet.
If whatever diet you adhere to well will give you the best effect. And when I see patients, my first question is when they want a diet is, what's going to work best for you? And if low-carbohydrate diets are fine, Mediterranean diets are fine, low-fat diets are fine, they all work well. We'd done a study published 2 years ago looking at high and low protein and high and low fat over 2 years rather than 4 weeks. And in that setting, the prescription of one of those others, and they included the range of proteins in this study, didn't make any difference. So I agree with you. If you get whatever will get you started and what you want to stay to is what you need to do. And if it's low carbohydrate, that's fine. If it's low fat, that's fine too.
Now, low carbohydrate may give you that initial boost, but Dr. Swadner, is it the healthiest way to go about losing weight?
I guess I have a concern too.
I'm going to have you just talk a little more into the mic.
Oh,
thanks.
Sure. You get a little extreme, and they'll go very low carb, and we now have an RDA of 130 grams of carbohydrate a day for the brain to function, and people get into ketosis, and they lose their appetite, so that helps them. But I actually have patients, too, a lot of times go, I want to go gluten-free because that's the only way to lose weight. So they also go with the protein. And I really agree with Dr. Bray. Well, I have to. What an incredible expert. I look up to all the research that he does, and I feel honored to be on the show with him today. But I also have a private practice, and I find with my patients, a lot of times I'm like a coach. Their willingness to come in and see me, put the effort, the time in it, get the physical activity part. And what I like to do is work with a patient is see what their regular habits are, fine-tune them so they do get a healthy, balanced diet, but find out what time do they get up, when do they go to work, how many children do they have, what is their lifestyle, and then design a plan around what their life is about.
And would you agree with Dr. Bray that this is a long-term thing? This is not the first few weeks or the month or what have you?
Yeah, and I think what happens is I have patients that lost hundreds of pounds on and off. They go on a lot of certain diets. Let's say they go on a low-carb diet. They can't deal with it. Then they binge on carbs. They gain the weight back. They give up. Then they find another diet or a diet book, and they lose the weight, then they gain it back. But basically, it's making a lifestyle plan, and I sort of make it your food plan. And also, I change it with the clients. If their lifestyle changes, they don't like this, we change it. So you can't really fail on it because you just change it for what happens with the person. And diet, the word diet doesn't mean restrictive diet. It means what you eat every day.
Yeah, the word diet is a big word, and people use it in different ways, but maybe lifestyle should be supplemented in some cases for that word. Dr. Bray, Dr. Swadner here was just mentioning people who yo-yo diet, and I know that you are one of the premier experts in the nation when it comes to obesity. How dangerous is yo-yo dieting on a person's body?
Well, you would obviously be better off not to regain the weight you've lost, and maintaining that loss is a key question for all of us and how you can maintain that. We don't have any great successes, so unfortunately lots of people do lose and then regain. But I'd rather have them lose than not have gone through the loss, because they get the benefits of the lower weight for whatever period they stay there. Right. And one of the questions I've raised with some of my experts over the years is that if their new diet, which comes out almost every year, had a magic formula in it that allowed people to lose and maintain weight loss, there wouldn't be any market for the next ones.
Right. It's become a cottage industry, hasn't it?
Well, more than cottage, it's pretty big time.
I should say, you're right. I should say it's become a mainstream industry, losing weight in the United States, because we have a large portion of the United States that falls into the obese category. Where do you transfer from being just overweight to obese? What's the general percentage of weight over where you should be? Dr. Bray?
Oh, yeah. The current criteria are something called a body mass index, which is your height, weight divided by height squared, which is a kind of complex number. But for someone of my height, which is 5'10", the upper limits of normal weight would be about 175 pounds. That's a BMI of 25.
I'm 5'10", and I've got some losing to do.
Well, you got the next cut point is a BMI of 30, which is the line that demarcates obesity. And if you're 5'10" and you're over 210 pounds, then you're in the obese category.
Okay, I'm safe for now, at least in the window that you gave us, Dr. Bray. Dr. Swadner, I've heard for years, even when I was studying at Cal Poly in the late 80s, that calories in minus calories expended by your body is the only equation you need to know when it comes to losing weight. And you can massage all these different diets and numbers any way you want, but unless you restrict the number of calories and increase the amount of calories you expend, you're not going to lose weight.
I think that's true. And then I see patients where I have to increase their calories because they're deficiting themselves so much that they're decreasing their metabolism.
Best restaurants, hotels, and homes are perched on steep hillsides with incredible views. But those buildings weren't just thrown there. They were placed on foundations designed and perfected by experts. Throughout much of the Bay Area, those hillside foundations were placed by S.S. Caveney Construction. With nearly 3 decades of experience dealing with the steepest and most difficult terrain, S.S. Caveney Construction is well known for being the go-to company when quality is your number one concern. Hillsides in California, as you know, are prone to drainage issues that can lead to erosion and slippage. S.S. Caveney Construction will solve those problems for you. Get a quote today by contacting the team you need. Head to SS Caveney, that's CAVENEY.com, and get your foundation placed correctly the first time. It will be a while before we see the labeling of genetically modified foods, but that doesn't mean you can't be a smart shopper and head to the store armed with knowledge. Our California Love website has a list of local companies producing food right here in California that are GMO-free and, in most cases, organic too. Head to CA, as in California, LUV, as in shorthand for love.com. It's that easy to find our list of local companies with your health in mind. You can also find this list on our Apple and Android smartphone and tablet apps, which are absolutely free in the App Store. Simply search Eat, Drink, Explore and download it to your device. Our California Love website also contains a vegetable and fruit chart so you can more easily buy local produce that's in season. Also, fresh and local recipes from the farmers market. Head there, check it out right now. CALUV.com.
I don't recycle. I mean, we can just find another planet for your kids to live on, you know?
Noted non-recycler Tommy Crenshaw talks about the future.
Oh, I can totally see finding another planet that can support life when ours fills up with trash.
Log on to yougottabekidding.org and learn about all the ways you can recycle, unless you're into lame excuses like Tommy's.
Hey, recycling's just not my thing. Starting over on a new planet? Now that's exciting.
Don't be that guy, unless you want people looking at you funny. Log on to yougottabekidding.org.
Across the nation, people are stepping up for their mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, partners, sisters, and brothers. They're leading the way and walking to end Alzheimer's, the 6th leading cause of death in the nation. Together, we can reclaim the future. Walk to end Alzheimer's. Start a team. Join a team. Go to alz.org.
For the latest video and information from today's show, head on over to eatdrinkexplore.com. We're constantly updating it with the latest food, beverage, and travel trends. Also, we're launching a new section of the site called California Love. This is where we recommend great companies, and the best part is every single business we feature is locally owned. We've checked them out and are confident you'll love them as much as we do. This is a great tool to have as we head into the holiday shopping season. Since you're already spending money, you might as well support your neighbor. We choose businesses that give back to the community, care about the environment, or use only the freshest local and organic ingredients. They also make their products here, not overseas. Our California Love business recommendation tool is still in the development stages, but will be available very soon at eatdrinkexplore.com. Eat, Drink, Explore Media, your lifestyle information source. Welcome back to the program on this beautiful November morning. I'm your host, Randall White. We're coming to you live from California's fantastic Central Coast. Hey, this holiday weekend may find you traveling along Highway 101 through Monterey County, where you'll see some very unique artwork featuring local farmers. The artist behind those larger-than-life cutout displays is John Cierney, who joined us in August to discuss his work. It is the salad bowl, right? The Salinas Valley is
That's
known
right.
as
Salad bowl of the world.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it really is. Boy, next time you go shopping, just check to see
Right.
where your lettuce bag came from. Or
If you're picking it up like Costco and you got Foxy lettuce, Salinas.
Right, exactly.
And I could go on.
and on and on and on, right. I do, the one in our refrigerator right now is baby lettuce. Is it baby? Is that how it's pronounced? B-A-B-E lettuce? Babe?
That's actually Santa Maria.
That's Santa Maria, and it's the organic. I like that.
Yeah. Fresh Express. Lots of salads for, people who buy the bag
they're
salad.
huge.
Started in Salinas. First bag salads.
So I started noticing, because I make several trips up and down Highway 101 through Monterey County, have my family up in the Bay Area, and I started noticing, I'm not sure how long it's been now, but these giant murals of farmers working in the field. And I've always assumed, well, that must...
When I moved there in about 2000, they were there. My kids were infatuated with them.
Yeah, because
So-
they're really interesting, and they capture these unique looks of the different farmers. And I've noticed more and more over time. And from what I understand, they're not just along Highway 101; they're also along Highway 68, according to Nicole Powers, one of our other reporters on the show.
She's not lying. I've seen them.
Yeah, who takes them along that route. So I started scratching my head, and I thought, where do these come from? Well, it turns out there's a local artist, John Cierney, Salinas, California native, who makes this cutout art, for lack of a better term. We'll ask him
And they're
what he
huge.
calls it. Yes, exactly. John, welcome to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio.
Thank you. Good morning.
Nice to have you. And do I understand that you have a, what do you call that, an artist studio downtown, Salinas?
Well, I'm in an industrial part of Salinas. I need tall ceilings, and I have a giant easel. But yeah, I've been in the same shop here for the last 16, 17 years.
Now, your farmers are larger than life. These are not life-size cutouts. These are. Do you have a scale that you work with?
Well, at one point I worked life-size with some of these things, and I was realizing, because most of my things are alongside highways, and you're driving 55 or 60 or faster, and you really couldn't. You could see them, but you couldn't quite take them in. So I needed to work bigger. So I did a series of 10 giant field workers for a local farmer here, and I just had to kind of ask some carpenter friends of mine, how tall could I make these and still make them withstand the wind? And I came up with 18 feet as kind of a blueprint for my first ones, and that's generally what they are, about 3 times life size.
My current favorite, and I don't know, Patty, you can chime in on this if you've seen it, Nicole as well, is when you're heading north on 101, south of King City, you can only get the right perspective for a moment. It is a short moment, and it is a woman. Right? Nicole knows exactly which one I'm talking about. It's a picture of a woman, and for a brief second, you are looking at it so that she's in perspective. That seems outside the norm of the rest of yours. How did you come up with that idea?
I wanted to work, do a really, really big one, but I couldn't make them too big because that one's 70 foot tall, but it's along the side of the slope of a highway. So in order to do that, I had to do a program where I could stretch out the image. So you're right, it only looks good for a moment. But I wanted to kind of blend in with nature more so than I normally do, and that meant just almost like painting it on the mountainside itself. And I just chose an old woman, a sad old woman, although you can't quite see her emotion from the distance. It's about a quarter mile away from the highway. And I just wanted to, and there's a field of poppies below her. I wanted to see how it would look, a portrait on the side of a mountain that I couldn't paint, but I could do it in these little panels of plywood that are spare pieces of plywood that are left over from my other projects. It was a free one. I just did it for fun, and I experimented on a couple of smaller ones first, a dog and a poppy around the Salinas area, and then I just went ahead and tackled that. And the toughest part of the whole project was finding a landowner who would give me permission to just take a little sliver of their property for many years. I can't tell them exactly how many years it'll last. It'll last for probably 20 years plus. And I finally found a family, or several families that own that property, who would let me do that. And fortunately, I had a little bit of a name for myself, so I wasn't quite just a quack saying, I want to do this thing on the side of your mountain.
Okay, so there's one. I used to live in the Salinas area along Highway 68 there. for about 5 or 6 years. So my children were super familiar with many of the ones that you have. They just, they were like 3 and 4 when we moved there, so they were infatuated with seeing those when we were driving. Now, a couple that my son would always say, cool car, Mommy, cool car. He's hating me right now because he's 16. But you have some with classic cars. The one I really liked was, it had like a broken windshield, and I feel like it was in like the Seaside area.
That's right. There's one for an auto glass shop in Seaside. I did that with another artist, a gal named Olia. But that's one I never see it because it's just a part of the peninsula that I don't drive through. But yeah, that was fun. Most of these people give me carte blanche to come up with an idea, and all they tell me is, I've got an auto glass shop. What can you do? So then I think of little Norman Rockwell type stories.
Right.
Yeah. And they do have sort of a Norman Rockwell look to them. It's a unique painting style that you have, John. I need to let people know that if they're listening on the radio and can't see any of these things and have not seen them before, if you go to johnsierney.com, which we have a link available at eatdrinkexplore.com, you have a great photo gallery there that shows many of your pieces of work. And I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing it with us. We've run out of time far too quickly. I could go on for much longer, but keep up the great work. You make driving along the Central Coast even more entertaining.
Well, thanks so much, Randall and Patty. I appreciate it.
All right, stick around, everyone. Yes, indeed. Stick around, everyone. That was our interview with John Sierney, and as you heard me say there from back in August, head to his website. It's really very cool. It's John Sierney, Cerney, and that's the traditional John, John, johnsierney.com. And who knows, maybe you're on 101 right now, passing one of those larger-than-life structures that he puts together, featuring the wonderful farmers of Monterey County that feed us at times like now. Probably, without a doubt, I would say on your Thanksgiving table, you likely had something grown in the Salinas Valley. Okay, so peanut butter is a big part of my life. I eat a lot of it. I don't know about, are you a fan of crunchy or creamy? I'm creamy. I don't think I rarely do the crunchy. As a kid, I liked crunchy, I think just because it was a little bit different. But there's a new book out called Creamy and Crunchy. And we will speak with the author of that book coming up in the next half hour. It's all about the history of peanut butter. And if ever there were an American food, peanut butter is it. And so we'll hear all about that, which should be really interesting. I'm excited to read the book. I haven't received it yet, but as soon as I do, I'm gonna page through that rather quickly. And then coming up, pardon me, I'm joking over here. Coming up in December, we have a number of fantastic authors that will be on. I'm in the middle of one of those books right now, and we'll talk about a little bit more about that as we move into December. But I do want to say a big hello to our KSCO AM 1080 listeners right now. It was kind of fun. I got to hear KSCO along the I-5 corridor, which surprised me a lot as I drove up to Sacramento for Thanksgiving. Wasn't expecting that. So if you're on I-5 listening to us right now, a very good morning. All the topics we're discussing today, even some of the ones that we're replaying, are available at eatdrinkexplore.com. This whole final half hour is 100% live as we speak with the author of Creamy and Crunchy, John Crampner, who will join us right after this commercial break. 9:28 the time. You're listening to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. Hope you're having a great day. Some of California's best restaurants, hotels, and homes are perched on steep hillsides with incredible views. But those buildings weren't just thrown there. They were placed on foundations designed and perfected by experts. Throughout much of the Bay Area, those hillside foundations were placed by S.S. Caveney Construction. With nearly 3 decades of experience dealing with the steepest and most difficult terrain, S.S. Caveney Construction is well known for being the go-to company when quality is your number one concern. Hillsides in California, as you know, are prone to drainage issues that can lead to erosion and slippage. SS Caveney Construction will solve those problems for you. Get a quote today by contacting the team you need. Head to SS Caveney, that's CAVENEY.com, and get your foundation placed correctly the first time.
McGruff here.
The crime dog?
Yep.
I think I'm gonna need your help. I've got an internet bully.
Okay, well, what you do is...
Maybe you could put a virus on her computer. Or a tracking device. Or a bug.
You don't have to do that, all you...
Or maybe we could get an attack dog. You ever see those attack dogs that can, like, rip a person's arm off? Seriously. Or like a SWAT team. A cyber SWAT team or something. Or like an army. Did you ever see that zombie army movie? We should get a zombie army.
Wait. All you need to do to stop an internet bully is delete their messages and never forward them on.
So, no zombies?
No zombies.
Bummer.
Delete cyberbullying. Don't write it, don't forward it. For more information, visit ncpc.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, Crime Prevention Coalition of America, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
Hello, this is Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and I want to tell you about my new favorite discovery, Yosemite National Park. I recently went there with my husband and children, and we walked the trails to see the breathtaking waterfalls, admired the grand meadows, and giant sequoias. But the future of our national parks is uncertain. Many challenges face our parks today, from polluted air and water to development threats outside their borders and inadequate funding to protect our national heritage. That's why the National Parks Conservation Association recently completed a decade-long assessment of the challenges facing our national parks, along with proposed actions that will ensure our children and grandchildren will be able to enjoy the parks as we have. Our national parks have inspired Americans for nearly 100 years. As we approach the centennial of the National Park Service in 2016, please join us in helping to protect our national park legacy. Find out how at www.npca.org.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
This is Betty White. I know you don't need one more thing to worry about, but listen, high blood pressure can cause kidney damage, blindness, heart attack, stroke, and you can have high blood pressure even if you feel all right. 1 in 7 adults has it, but it's easy to get your blood pressure checked, and you can treat it if it is too high. So don't worry about it, don't ignore it, just see your doctor and check it out.
For your free booklet, visit the Will Rogers Institute at wrinstitute.org and find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio network. Here now is your fabulous host, Mr. Randall White.
And a very good Sunday morning to you, the Sunday following Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and Small Business Saturday. This is your one day of rest, and then tomorrow it's all about shopping online with Cyber Monday. Then, of course, Tuesday now has become mobile Tuesday. So your handheld devices, tablet computers, iPhones, whatever you may have, apparently you can find deals via those on Tuesday. But today, it's just Sunday, a day to kick back and listen to us here at Eat, Drink, Explore Radio. We don't have any deals to offer you. I apologize. Although we did have our travel deals segment in the last hour. So you can always find things that way. Hey, I love some of the people that I follow on Twitter. They just have a wealth of information. And one woman who I follow, in fact, she's been a guest here on this very show, is Marion Nestle. And that last name is spelled sort of like the chocolate Nestle, Nestle. You can follow her on Twitter at MarionNessel.com. She has a website, foodpolitics.com, which is fantastic. Anytime you see a new sort of food trend or study, in fact, when Hostess went under last week, every article I read, from the New York Times to the San Francisco Chronicle, had a quote from Marion Nestle. She's no fan of Hostess, so they got her point of view on that. At any rate, I saw a Twitter tweet from her, I guess it would be called, the other day, choosing 3 books that she thought would be great reads this holiday season, or might even make a great gift if you have a foodie in your shopping repertoire. Did I say that word correctly? I did? Okay, I'm getting a nod in the background. So from Anthony. So yes, if you have a foodie on the list, you may want to buy one of the books that Marion suggested, and it's called Creamy and Crunchy. It's the history of peanut butter. So I thought, you know what? That would actually make a fantastic guest. So I contacted John Crampner, the author of Creamy and Crunchy, to ask him if he wouldn't mind coming on a holiday weekend. And John said, not at all. Hey, John, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Randall.
Great to have you with us. We really appreciate you doing it on this holiday weekend. Now, I noticed, because I placed the call, we gave our typical producer on a normal Sunday, Cora, the day off because she went down to Disneyland with her family. Disneyland, right, Anthony? Cora, yeah? No, she just went to San Diego. Oh, she went to San Diego. I'm sorry. Disneyland was a couple of weeks ago. She's constantly on the go with all of her kids. But at any rate, she's not here. So I placed the call, and I noticed it was a 323 area code. So you are here in the Golden State with us.
I am indeed. I'm in Los Angeles.
Yes, and a beautiful day down in Los Angeles. Believe it or not, San Luis Obispo, where we broadcast from, it will be a little warmer than L.A. today. We're expected to hit a high of 79 degrees, mid-60s to the north of us, but I noticed L.A. will be in the mid to low 70s. So, but sunshine across the board for all of us. Hey, John, how did you get the idea to write this book about peanut butter?
Well, interestingly, I don't really have a very strong food pedigree. My first 2 books were entertainment biographies. The first of a man named Fred Coe, who was the leading producer of 1950s live television drama, and then Kim Stanley, who was a Broadway actress at the same time. Both of them were tormented geniuses in the arts who lapsed into obscurity because of drinking problems. And I thought I'd like to write about something a little more cheerful this time. And
right.
Peanut butter may make you fat, but it won't give you cirrhosis of the liver.
Oh, that's true, right? So there's a plus. And so you landed on peanut butter. Have you always been a big peanut butter fan?
Well, off and on, to be honest with you. As when I was growing up, it was really one of only 2 foods that I would eat with any regularity, to my mother's distress, the other being hamburgers.
Oh, okay.
And but when I went away to college, I stopped eating it because I just wanted to see what else the world held gastronomically. But then in the early 1980s, after a very painful romance ended, as some people do, I just turned to it as a way of trying to
feel
forget
better
about my romantic problems. I then gained so much weight that I had to go to the gym, go to a nutritionist, and I stopped eating it again. And I really didn't begin eating it again until I started doing the research for this book. And, of course, now I only eat it for research purposes.
Right. It's funny that you stopped eating it in college. I really started eating peanut butter in college, primarily because it was an inexpensive protein source. But what I really got into in college, I remember, is doing peanut butter and jelly on toast, toasting the bread, and then the peanut butter melts a little bit, and yum. Thinking about it right now, it sounds pretty good.
No, it just that that molten quality that the peanut butter acquires on toast is just really one of life's great pleasures.
It does. Hey, so how long did it take you to research the book and then write it?
It took about 5 years. Again, I really had to just kind of start from the beginning, in a sense. I had never had much of a food background. I interviewed a lot of people from the peanut and peanut butter industries. I plunged into library stacks, went on the internet. I made several trips to the peanut growing regions of the South, and I was lucky enough to connect with a retired peanut farmer in Jackson County in the Florida Panhandle named Stanley Pittman, who showed me around, took me out into the fields to peanut buying points. And again, Jackson County, I mean, it's about as rural as you can get in Florida. It's about 50 people per square mile. Manhattan, by way of contrast, is about 70,000 people per square mile. I sampled so many different kinds of peanut butter. I have this collection of peanut butter jars in my living room, which one editor who came to interview me, he referred to it as my shrine. I grew my own peanut patch and made peanut butter out of it.
In Los Angeles, you grew peanuts?
Oh, sure. We have the weather for. Basically, to grow peanuts, you need two things. One is warm weather, and the other is kind of a sandy loam soil, which actually I'm not sure that's what we have in front of my apartment building, but it was good enough for the purpose. And
is it a large plant?
No, it's not that large at all. It has kind of these oval leaves. They're sort of gray-green, and as is the custom with legumes, they fold up against each other at night. What's really interesting about the peanut plant, it produces these small kind of almost orchid-like yellow-orange flowers.
Oh.
They live for about a day. They then kind of die and turn downwards, burrow into the soil, and that's where they produce the peanut. So the peanut plant is one of a very small number of plants in the peanut world where it flowers above ground but then fruits below ground.
Interesting. And I noticed that you called it a legume, which means we always call them, we say peanut, but it's technically not a nut.
That is correct. To actually be a nut, it has to have a hard shell and grow on a tree, like walnuts and almonds.
Mm-hmm.
The way that peanuts are prepared is pretty much the way that nuts are prepared. So it's kind of people have gotten the habit of calling that, but nobody prepares peanuts the way you do green peas or anything like that. Although it's more closely related to the pea than it is to the almond or the walnut.
Now, in the South, where you were traveling, I always think of Georgia when I think of peanut farming, but of course it goes beyond those borders, like you said, the panhandle of Florida and such, rural areas where on the roadside, don't you see boiled peanuts? Aren't people selling? I had read that somewhere.
That is absolutely true. In the South, boiled peanuts are considered quite the delicacy. And when we were driving through Jackson County, we did run across a stand of someone just under a canopy selling boiled peanuts. They are popular in the South. I have to tell you, I personally can't abide them at all. They just seem kind of greasy and slug-like, but they are popular in the South. But give me peanut butter with its roasted peanut flavor any day.
Yeah, I have to agree. We're speaking with John Crampner, author of Creamy and Crunchy. It is the go-to book for anyone who loves peanut butter, which I put myself in that camp for sure. We will keep John on the line and ask him more questions regarding the history of peanut butter. Who invented it, after all? It's an American original, that's for sure. 9:44 the time. If you have any questions regarding peanut butter, email them to us now, radio@eatdrinkexplore.com. We're back in just a moment on this Sunday morning, 9:44. Some of California's best restaurants, hotels, and homes are perched on steep hillsides with incredible views. But those buildings weren't just thrown there. They were placed on foundations designed and perfected by experts. Throughout much of the Bay Area, those hillside foundations were placed by S.S. Caveney Construction. With nearly 3 decades of experience dealing with the steepest and most difficult terrain, S.S. Caveney Construction is well known for being the go-to company when quality is your number one concern. Hillsides in California, as you know, are prone to drainage issues that can lead to erosion and slippage. S.S. Caveney Construction will solve those problems for you. Get a quote today by contacting the team you need. Head to S.S. Caveney, that's CAVENEY.com, and get your foundation placed correctly the first time. It will be a while before we see the labeling of genetically modified foods, but that doesn't mean you can't be a smart shopper and head to the store armed with knowledge. Our California Love website has a list of local companies producing food right here in California that are GMO-free and, in most cases, organic too. Head to CA, as in California, LUV, as in shorthand for love.com. It's that easy to find our list of local companies with your health in mind. You can also find this list on our Apple and Android smartphone and tablet apps, which are absolutely free in the App Store. Simply search Eat, Drink, Explore and download it to your device. Our California Love website also contains a vegetable and fruit chart so you can more easily buy local produce that's in season. Also, fresh and local recipes from the farmers market. Head there, check it out right now. CALUV.com.
Hi, this is Rick Moranis. You know, some people are more careful about what they feed their cars than what they feed their bodies. They know that the wrong fuel can hurt a car's performance and maybe ruin the engine. But the wrong food can have the same effect on your health. Too much fat, too many calories, and too little of what's good for you can affect how well you feel and even lead to serious illness. So eat right. It'll help you keep running smooth.
For more information, visit the Will Rogers Institute at wrinstitute.org or call toll-free 877-957-7575 and find us on Facebook and Twitter. Wayne Brady for the Will Rogers Institute.
Hey folks, I've got something that will truly revolutionize your life. It's called exercise. It will get you from here to there, allow you to spend time with your family and meet new people, cut inches from your waistline and improve the quality of your life, even help improve your self-image. Sexy. So when you've got to choose between moving around or lying on the couch, choose exercise. You won't be sorry.
For your free booklet, visit wrinstitute.org or call toll-free 877-957-7575 and find us on Facebook and Twitter.
For the latest video and information from today's show, head on over to eatdrinkexplore.com. We're constantly updating it with the latest food, beverage, and travel trends. Also, we're launching a new section of the site called California Love. This is where we recommend great companies, and the best part is every single business we feature is locally owned. We've checked them out and are confident you'll love them as much as we do. This is a great tool to have as we head into the holiday shopping season. Since you're already spending money, you might as well support your neighbor. We choose businesses that give back to the community, care about the environment, or use only the freshest local and organic ingredients. They also make their products here, not overseas. Our California Love business recommendation tool is still in the development stages, but will be available very soon at eatdrinkexplore.com. Eat, Drink, Explore Media, your lifestyle information source. Welcome back to the program on this Sunday morning. It is our final segment, November the 25th, as we broadcast live, 9:49 the time here in California, talking with John Crampner, the author of Creamy and Crunchy. It is a peanut butter Bible. And we were in the middle of speaking with John about some of the different aspects of peanut butter. And I'm wondering, John, what was your biggest discovery while working on this book?
Well, there were actually several. The one is that when I was growing up in the early 60s, peanut butter was mainly made from a combination of Virginia and Spanish peanuts. Spanish are very flavorful. They would put the Virginia in because it had lower oil content, so to kind of balance it out, not make it too oily. And I didn't realize that starting in the early 1970s, the kind of peanut used in peanut butter switched to the runner peanut. Runners aren't quite as flavorful, although the hybrid that they had in the early 70s, called the Flow Runner, was a bit more tasty than runners had traditionally been. But I didn't realize that in the course of my lifetime that the kind of peanut used to make peanut butter had changed. And when I started eating peanut butter again, it seemed a little different, but I thought that maybe I was just being a rank sentimentalist and kind of going, well, in the good old days. But it really is different now, and that was kind of my biggest surprise.
Interesting. Your book is titled Creamy or Creamy and Crunchy. But in terms of creamy or crunchy, which style do Americans buy more of?
Oh, by far and away, the hands-down winner is creamy. It's about 80% of the market. Crunchy it's about 17% now, and the remaining 3 is that stuff where they mix peanut butter and jelly in the same jar.
Right.
I'm a little surprised. I'm a crunchy person myself, and the other thing that I've learned, though, is that apparently women and children tend to prefer creamy, and men tend to prefer crunchy.
Oh, that's interesting. Where do you get these sorts of statistics?
At this point, to be honest with you, I've done so much research, I just can't pull that one off the top of my head.
That's okay. It has been more than a decade since I have purchased, I'd say maybe more than 20 years, since I've purchased peanut butter that's stabilized, that, doesn't separate in the jar. I've been buying natural. I look on the label, and it needs to say peanuts and salt. And that is all I buy. In fact, Anthony, who does our audio here, grinds his own peanut butter.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but I'm wondering, am I odd that way? The stabilized is probably far more popular because the big giant brands like Jif and Skippy outsell the others.
You're not odd, but in my opinion, you're wise. I mean, I do the same thing. I almost exclusively eat the natural peanut butter, and I do so for a number of reasons. And again, I'm speaking as somebody who grew up on Skippy. The first is that with natural or old-fashioned, the peanut flavor and aroma are just much more intense.
Right.
Now, a lot of people think that the hydrogenated oils in stabilized peanut butter have a lot of trans fats in them. That is not true. There's only a minuscule amount of trans fats in stabilized peanut butter, so that's really not a big problem. But again, what the stabilized oils do is they muffle the flavor and the aroma of the peanuts. And the main reason, of course, that the companies do that, put the stabilized oils in, is for a commercial imperative, not a taste or flavor imperative.
Right.
It extends the shelf life of the product, and just makes for more profit.
Right.
Let me tell you one thing about stabilized peanut butter, which your listeners may not realize, though, which is that it is almost invariably genetically modified.
Oh, interesting. The stabilized, because they use like a canola oil or something?
Well, I'm not sure what the statistics are in canola oil, but the cotton oil and the soybean oil is almost invariably genetically modified.
Interesting. Another reason why I choose the natural version. Hey, John, where did peanut butter start? Is there someone we can pinpoint as an inventor?
Well, there's kind of a two-part answer to that. Now, peanuts are native to the Bolivian foothills of the eastern Andes. So thousands of years ago, the Incas were grinding up peanuts, although they didn't, spread it on bread the way we do. In its modern incarnation, peanut butter originates in the American Midwest, although there are really two schools of thought as to who deserves the credit for that. Actually, three, if you count George Washington Carver, who does not deserve the credit at all.
Oh, interesting.
Right. He's not only did he not invent peanut butter, even his knowledge of peanuts is overrated. I was surprised when I read his book on 105 ways to prepare the peanut that he says it grows best in clay soil, which it doesn't. It's sandy loam. But anyway, serious peanut butter people either give the credit to John Harvey Kellogg, who was one of the founders of the Kellogg cereal dynasty.
Oh, interesting.
He took out the first patent on a peanut butter-like substance in 1895, although if you read that patent, again, he boiled the peanuts. He didn't roast them. So other people say the credit really should go to a man named George Bayle, B-A-Y-L-E, who was a snack food manufacturer in St. Louis and who claims to have been making peanut butter commercially as early as 1894. And so there's still a controversy about that.
About who the original person was. John Crampner, Creamy and Crunchy. You can go to creamyandcrunchy.com for a lot more information. Perfect book for the foodie on your holiday shopping list. John, thanks for joining us today.
It was very much a pleasure, Randall. Thank you very much.
And everyone, enjoy the remainder of your holiday weekend. Eat, Drink, Explore Radio.
You've been listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore radio program. If you missed any of our segments today, look for them online or through our free Apple and Android apps. Catch you back right here next week.